3 days passed with only the faintest disturbances in the vault. Elspeth's small frame remained hidden beneath the stone lid. Her body pressed against the cold walls, her mind stretched taut by the absolute darkness and silence. The orderlies, weary and anxious, tried to focus on other tasks, but the building itself seemed to pulse with something unseen, a rhythm that matched the soft hum drifting from Dr. Finch's office. At first there had been no sound at all, only the oppressive weight of stone, the emptiness pressing on her from every side. Then, on the third day, faint scratches began to echo through the thick walls, subtle enough to be mistaken for the settling of stone or the scratching of rats in the basement. One of the younger orderlies, leaning against the cold corridor wall, froze when he heard it, his breath catching. The scratching was deliberate, patterned, almost musical in its irregularity. It rose and fell with the same rhythm as Finch's lullaby, though no one inside could have coordinated such a sound. Another orderly came and listened, tense, eyes wide. Unable to say more than a whisper, it was coming from the vault. The older men shrugged uneasily, their skepticism hiding the unease creeping into their bones. The building, after all, was old, they told themselves. Everything here made sounds eventually. Dr. Finch, however, did not dismiss it. He leaned over his ledger in the dim light of his office, pen in hand, a faint smile tracing his lips. He wrote carefully, each word deliberate. Positive sign of re-emerging spatial awareness. Subject shows early neural realignment. Patterns of self-guided navigation detected. To him, the scratching was no sign of distress, but of awakening. The first small movements of a mind learning to perceive its own structure. Finch imagined Elspeth inside, her tiny fingers tracing shapes in the darkness, mapping the geometry of her fear, pressing against the smooth stone until the walls became a mirror of her thoughts. He hummed softly, the lullaby low and steady, and he felt the pulse of her mind begin to beat in rhythm with the building itself. Outside, the orderlies spoke in hushed tones, calling it strange, unnerving, impossible. Inside, Elspeth was beginning to feel the presence of something larger than herself. The vault itself, the hum, the rhythm, the walls that seemed to breathe and respond. Fear had not left her, but it had been transformed into a strange clarity, a focus that left no room for doubt. She scratched at the stone in time with an invisible pattern, unaware that every movement was being noted, every sound recorded, every gesture mapped in Finch's meticulous ledger. By nightfall, the scratching slowed, fading into silence once more, leaving the vault and Elspeth suspended in a tense, expectant pause. Finch closed his ledger carefully, whispering his lullaby into the cold corridor, a soft, unyielding promise that the experiment had only just begun.